Howdy, y'all. How are things going today? Today is February. Oh God, what is today actually? February 16th, 2026. And I just want to talk about how much I hate criminals yet again. I truly think every problem, or almost every problem we're facing right now is. This might be too loud. Hold on. Just in case. Just in case we're going to lower that a little bit. But man, I have such a deep, endless hatred for criminals. I'm just, the more I see online about them hurting people, the more I see online about people having 20 felonies going out and cutting people down and hurting people in the society, the more I want them to suffer even more. The more I want every criminal to be just in endless, eternal fear of the common man. I just every day I'm here, I look at the freaking, it's bad to say this, but both sides they don't care about it enough. Both sides, the Democrats and the fucking conservatives, and I'm so surprised the conservatives never deal with it because boy howdy, why not? It's one of the few issues that I truly think we could get endless bipartisan support on is dealing with these criminals, is putting them away forever, is making them actually repay their debts to society, not just allowing them to go back out on the street and ensure suffering for the common man and even more people. You know, when your mom goes out and she clutches her purse just a little tighter than she should, wow. That sure is living in fear of a criminal. When your brother or your dad locks the car when people are walking by because you don't know what they're going to do, it's because we don't deal with criminals properly. When you're when your elderly parents or neighbors or citizens are assaulted by these people and can't fight back because the frickin' Democrats are taking away their guns. How are you ever supposed to fight back against a criminal without a gun? You know, criminals don't care about gun control. Whether you, no matter, even if you try to get rid of all the guns, guess what? Look at Italy, look at France, look at frickin' Germany. They still have shootings. And you know what happens when they don't have shootings? They just swap to stabbings. You're never going to get rid of people who are willing to hurt each other. I understand that. You're always going to have a criminal element. You're always going to have some level of shit stuff. You're always going to have a level of problematic interprets with these people. And you know what? That's fine because you're never going to deal with all criminals. But you can sure make it so bad for them, the incentive so good to be a normal citizen in society that they would fear ever deciding to do anything unlike a normal citizen, that they would fear to even touch someone in the wrong way, to steal something, to even fear stealing a loaf of bread. That's what I want them to be. And I want them to live in such horrendous, never ending fear. And this isn't a specific group of people, this is all criminals. Every last one. They need to live in suffrage and fear. I have no regard for their lives anymore because you've decided that you're an animal. You're willing to hurt everybody and anybody around you for the little things in their pocket, for the little things they own. Like I don't understand. I hold on, you gotta use the mouse. This for the guy who made Berry, you cannot get up to this one with a controller. Please fix that. That's like one of the few things I have a problem with in this game. But my goodness, dude, people, I just hate, I just hate that we don't enforce the law so even harsher than we do. I hate that we don't make these criminals suffer. I hate that these people are allowed to walk around amongst us. They shouldn't even be allowed to breathe. They should be a fertilizer for our crops. You know, I can't believe criminals are allowed to inflict endless suffering upon the native citizens. For what? For nothing. And it's not even just the lower criminals. We have horrendous amount of criminals as our politicians too. All regards of our country are surrounded by worthless criminals who should be. Can't say that. I'm on YouTube. I gotta be somewhat calm with my criticisms. But executed is the word. You know, if at one straight, they're talking about this is the stupidest idea. There's this idea that they're trying to push right now, that it should be it's a three strike law. Three strikes and you get 20 years. That's not hard good enough. It should be one strike, prison 20 years. Three strikes, executed. There's no there's no other way you can get around it without making a horrendous incentive to be a common citizen and do the right thing, and a major disincentive to not be a criminal. There's no other way around it. If you are unwilling and unable to punish criminals, you just allow the common man to suffer. You just allow the common man to live in fear. You allow your mother, your wife, your sisters, your daughters, your brothers, your husbands, your grandfathers, your abuelas, everybody to suffer. Your ninas, I think it's ninas and ninos or cousins. I don't know. My Spanish isn't that great, but it cuts across all races. It doesn't matter who you are. If you have any woman in your life, any man in your life, and guess what? That's every single one of you because you all live with other human beings. You all interact with other human beings. You're all around them. No matter how much, sometimes we don't want to be around them. You are around them. And is what pisses me off is the fucking Democrats that never want to fix this problem. And the conservatives are no better. Don't even start with them. I understand that they don't conserve shit. They're not working for the common man. They don't give a crap they don't give a crap about the highest crime in the nation, the freaking pedophilic ring we have running around with all the politicians. Why would I think they would care about the lesser criminals? Why would they ever enforce the law on them? They don't care. We've seen that time and time again. This blatant hypocrisy, this blatant manufactured suffering of the people. And I got to restrain myself sometimes because this is one of the few things that gets me so angry, so spiteful that it makes me want to live alone forever in the middle of nowhere because I hate criminals. I hate them more than anything. They are scum. They are animals. They are fucking worthless trash. And it pisses me off to even see them breathe, let alone exist in our society. And that goes for every person. It doesn't matter their race, it doesn't matter their gender, it doesn't matter their creed. Every criminal is worthless. The only ones I think you can even truly attempt, even for a moment, to recidivize are petty crimes and financial crimes. All these murderers, all these terrorists, all these child rapists, all these freaking all these gang members, all these freaking mass assaulters with 20 felonies, no. Their lives do not matter in my eyes for even a moment. The only people's lives who should matter is common, average, everyday citizens. Even giving these people a moment of reprieve, they shouldn't have, when I say they shouldn't have cell phones, when I say they shouldn't even have beds, when I say they shouldn't even have frickin' water because they should be fertilizer on the ground, I truly believe that there's nothing that benefits the society by keeping these people around. There's no positives to allowing criminals to just run amok and make the common citizen live in fear, make the common citizen live in suffering. You know, it's just ridiculous. There is no group of people who benefits from having criminals besides other criminals. Zero. That's why, I mean, I understand why the politicians don't do anything. They are all criminals. They're almost all worthless trash. There's not a single one off the top of my, even the ones I used to like, I don't even respect them anymore because I've seen them consistently sell out the common man, consistently throw away everybody that I care about, and everybody I care about is every American citizen. It is just shameful, it's disrespectful, and inert. Probably the most ignorant ideas I've ever seen in my life right now are coming from California and my home state and other Democrat places because, even though the conservatives aren't doing enough to deal with freaking criminals, we're doing even less. We're just letting them out. They just let them roam and harm more people in our society. We let them out and hurt more citizens that we care about, more anybody. When your mom and when your mom and your sisters and everybody go out, they clutch their purses harder. They close the doors to their car and lock them when people are walking by. Do you think they do that because they're being racist, because they're fearful of anybody? No. They do that because they are in such fear of being assaulted and harmed by criminals and as we've seen, criminals often don't get the reprisal they need. They don't get the punishments they deserve. They get to live in comfort and freedom, or they get cashless. Oh my God! Don't you get me started on cashless bail. California is the reason I think Governor Newsom needs to be put down, because boy howdy, he's completely fucking failed the people there. He is letting the citizens live in suffrage and fear, and he just lets them back out. He just lets them back out on the street. Just go roam, go harm somebody else. Go. With your 50 felonies, when you shouldn't even be breathing in our society, let alone able to move around. Just go out and hurt more people. Just go out and enforce more suffrage on people, dude. Hmm. I I don't know. I don't know. There is such a level of our politicians and everybody else selling us out, throwing us away, and enacting just pure idiotic beliefs on the criminals. I don't understand why, even for a moment, they care about them. You know, sanctuary city laws are literally only supporting a criminal element. I don't understand why they do this. There's no point. There truly is no point. What's the point of allowing people to continuously and endlessly suffer in your society? Don't you want them to live free lives where they don't have to be filled with fear and patronizing, and they don't have to be harmed by just some random fucking bum on the street, that they don't have to worry about some trash, worthless, lesser individual coming up and harming them because they want their money in their wallet, they want the little bit of things they have in their car. You know, I saw this one. I Let me breathe for a moment because I'm about to say something really bad. But I saw this recent crime where they ripped this woman out of her car and they drug her with the car like 10 blocks, 10 blocks, just because they didn't notice, and she died. You know, she was willing to give them anything, the car, the money in her wallet, anything she had on her, she was willing to give away. But they still killed her. And those people should be forced to work forever in a mine. Those people should be forced to work forever for the state. They should never be allowed out. Their families should never be allowed to see them. They should be erased from everything and anything and turned into fertilizer the moment they drop. I just, I don't understand why, even for a moment, we allow these stupid, worthless criminals to roam in our society. I don't understand why they're even allowed to breathe. You know, cashless bail. Oh, let's just take a little bit of money and then put them back out on the street so they could kill another grandma, so they could harm another citizen, so they could steal another car. No, I'm sick of it, and I know you're sick of it too. It doesn't matter who you are in this country. I know you hate criminals. You want to know why I know you hate criminals? Because I can see it in the fucking law. I can see it in the comments on every social media. I can see it in every video online. I can see it in, you know, I don't, it just pisses me off. I don't know. And you know what? All that money that goes towards us worthless, lesser criminals in our prisons, in our society, that shouldn't even be allowed. It should go to the homeless people. Look at fucking Skid Row. All right, look at California's Skid Row and tell me those people shouldn't be put into rehab. And the money we give in, to put into all these worthless criminals to keep them alive, to feed them, to house them, to give them water, it should be put into actually helping our citizens. It should be put into helping people get better, not allowing these worthless trash individuals to breathe longer. All right, I'm sorry. If your family member is a criminal and it's not a petty crime or a financial crime, and even then, if they continue to do petty crime and financial crime, they need to be put down. Every last one of them. I am so sick and tired of watching. Even I'm so sick and tired of these. Of just, why do people let these people breathe? When do we come as a society morons that decided, yeah, you know, criminal lives matter? Fuck no, they don't. Not a single criminal life matters. I'm sick and tired of it. We have seen it through the recidivism rate. Can I have the one, please? We've seen it through. Oh, fuck, hold on, I missed. We've seen it through the recidivism rate. These people never get better. They start doing even more crimes. 70 felonies, you should be fucking enslaved by the state. I don't give a shit. All right, if you have 70 felonies, you're not even human anymore. You're a freaking worthless animal, a monster, a degenerate on society that only inflicts pain and suffering on those around you, and you don't deserve to even be here anymore. You know, I hate that we even allow these people to breathe. Criminals are just scum, worthless trash. I, I feel like it's an inside job to allow these criminals to live. And I feel like obviously the politicians don't want crime to be to be enforced, the law, because guess what? They're all fucking criminals too. They're all stealing money from us. They're all behind our backs. And, and it's not surprising that the lesser criminals don't get treated as trash because the highest criminals don't get treated by trash. The highest criminals don't suffer. The highest level of criminals never face punishment, and that shit pisses me off more than anything. I don't care. You know, I used to be super into healthcare reform. That was my number one thing. But the longer I live, the more I just want people to vote for criminal laws to be enforced even harsher. The more I want the more I want even worse outcomes for these criminals. The more I want even more restriction on them. The more I want them to live in a 2 by 2 foot cell with no bed and they're forced to stand all night long. They never get a lay down. I don't care. Why are they even allowed to be here? Why are they allowed to breathe? You know, this doesn't include anybody, by the way, because of their race, gender, creed, whatever. It involves your shitty decisions, your piss poor actions to harm people around you, to commit crime, to inflict damage and suffering on everybody and anybody that comes across you. That's what I want. I want you to suffer. I want your life to be extinguished. I want you to be forced by the state to work to repay debt for society until you are turned into fertilizer for our crops. I'm so fucking sick of these worthless criminals because they hurt everybody and anybody. They don't add anything to society for even a moment. Not even a fucking second do they add anything to our lives, to our happiness, to our creed. They don't add anything with taxpayers. In fact, they take our money away. You know, how am I supposed to even for a moment how am I supposed to even see these people as human beings? How am I even supposed to see them as nothing more than fodder that should be sent to the front lines so we can test drones on them? How am I supposed to even just I fucking hate these people. I hate criminals so much. I'm sorry if this is just anger and spite and hatred coming from me, but my God, I just see these people constantly fighting for criminals, constantly fucking fighting for the people who would harm them, who would take their land, property, hurt their family, anything for nothing. It's the simple pleasure of doing it is why they would do it, not for any benefit, not for any bonus, not for anything. They just want to harm people, and it so fucking pisses me off. It makes me want to give up completely on my medical degree and just become a lawyer. It makes me want to become a prosecutor so I can make these fucking people suffer, so I can put them in camps, so I can put them down. It's just fucking I hate it. And you know, I'm normally pretty moderate on all my takes. This is one of the few ones you're gonna hear pure unspiteful and just spiteful anger. No retribution, no redemption, no even chance to recidivize. It just angers me so much. And I get it. We're never gonna see this happen. No matter how hard I fucking want it to, no matter how much we can show that people are truly suffering, that putting criminals away and giving these massive incentives to not be a piece of shit. In fact, extreme decentives to not be a criminal, extreme decentives to not harm your common citizen, to actually enact proper law, to be a normal person in functioning society. And I don't understand. You know, everything is about incentives and decentives. Every last thing is about incentives and decentives. And at the end of the day, oh my God, I hate these people. That's what I need to do. Maybe I truly should give up on my medical degree and become a DA, become a prosecutor for the state, and just enact suffrage upon these worthless criminal scum. Just put these people exactly where they need to be, in cages. In I don't know. I'm sure some of you feel the same way I do. That you're just so spiteful and angry towards these criminals because you see what they do. You see the people that they harm. You see and know the people that suffer underneath them. The criminals should live in fear of the common man, complete and total fear that even one mistake, even one horrendous decision would end their life immediately, that they would be snuffed out and put away in a box. All right, I'm sick of allowing them to exist. I'm sick of allowing them to hurt people around us. I'm sick, and I'd have to treat them as a medical person, and boy, howdy, that would piss me off more than anything in the world. I would still do it because guess what? It's my job. All right, but man, I would, I would be very unhappy and ungrateful that they would pull through. And it just, boy, howdy, that is so annoying. I just wish I just wish people would understand and see that these people don't add to our society. They're only harming us. They don't give us a benefit. There's nothing they do for us. Nothing at all that could benefit us by keeping them alive. You know, when I look at you, and I'm looking at you right now because I look at every single person in this country, as an American citizen. If you're here legally, if you're here illegally, I don't care about you. But boy, howdy, if you're a normal citizen, it doesn't matter your race, creed, gender. You want these people put away. You want these people to live in fear of the law. Because guess what? That means they live in fear of you. That means they live in fear of harming you and your family and your friends and those you love. And that's what they should do. They should live in fear of harming the people we care about, of harming the average citizen, of harming the common man. It is just so it's just so shameful what we do. And I hate my state so much for just fucking. I hate my state for not dealing with criminals harsher. I hate it so much. They need to step up. They need to do their job, and they need to stop just allowing pain and allowing suffering to be inflicted on the common man. It just I hate it. I hate it so much. I hate it more than anything. It's just a shame, a complete and total shame that these people are even allowed to exist for a moment. Everybody complains about recidivism rates. Guess what? There wouldn't be any recidivism if you put these people down. There wouldn't be any tax money going to feeding them, housing them, giving them water, providing. And obviously we'd lose jobs if we got rid of all these people. We'd lose the people out of the prison complex. But guess what? Make them cops. They can still help society in great and wondrous ways as police officers instead of being. And obviously we still need some levels. We wouldn't need prisons. Let me tell you what, we would no longer need prisons because criminals at that level would no longer exist. We would only need jails for simple petty crime and for holding cells. That's it. There would be no reason for us to have prisons anymore. All the water, all the guards would be gone or moved to jails. All the people, all the money going towards it from our taxes that they siphon out of us because they're fucking scumbags. Taxation is complete and utter theft. And it makes me so mad my money goes to keep these worthless fucking degenerates alive. It just frustrates the hell out of me. It makes me, like, truly, it makes me want to give up on being a medical person and become a DA, become law enforcement, become something to enforce these punishments on these people. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand everybody's stupid fucking fixation about trying to fix these people, about trying to make them better. They don't want to be better. They're a fucking animal. All right. They hurt your people. They hurt your family. They hurt your friends, and you want to keep them around. You want to allow them to live. It's a fucking joke. That shit so much. Sorry, an alarm's going off, but God, dude, I hate that shit. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comments. That's gonna be my chat for today. Just anger and hatred towards all criminals. And God, please vote to make these people suffer. Please vote to make these fucking criminals be put away. Because they don't care about you, your family, your friends, your pets, your home, your land, nothing. I hope y'all have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you again soon.